Hello, I'm Kelly and welcome to my Flosstube channel Animal Instinct. It's Monday the 2nd of October 2023, public holiday here in Adelaide, and I'm back with another cross-stitching update. Thanks so much for spending some time with me today. Hope you're well and are enjoying your stitching. Thank you to all of my existing subscribers and welcome if you're new. I've got quite a bit to share today. September was a okay month stitch wise. I feel like that at the end of every month lately, so maybe that's the new normal, I'm not sure. But it's been pretty good. So I've got my Pilgrim fully frame to share with you today, and I've got 2 more finishes. My progress on Firefly this month, and I think a couple of new starts, and then all the October plans. So let's start with my Pilgrim. I put a photo in of it framed last time, and I didn't have it with me because I had entered it into the Royal Adelaide show in the cross stitch craft, competition, and I got to go to the show. I took a day off of work and took my niece and nephew. We had a lot of fun. We had a great day and they're looking forward to going again next year. I'll pop a photo in of it on display at the show. I forgot to get one of it on its own, so parent approved. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you might recognise Jack, although he's a lot bigger now. Jack helped me with my finish parade back at the end of 2020, and he was really chuffed to be part of that. He still is. And his little sister Ava is desperate to come on and help me with a video sometime, so who knows, we might see if we can make that happen. So yeah, between them is my piece on display. It's behind these terribly glary glass cabinets, which I think have been in use probably since I've been going to the show, which is my whole life. I was careful not to spend too much time there because I knew they got a bit bored last year, so we didn't spend too long in that section. They were very good about it all, but if you can see, there is a blue ribbon on it. I couldn't believe it. It actually came first in its section, so completely blown away by that. Amazing. When I was there, there were a couple of ladies having a close look at cross stitch, and so we started talking, and it turned out one of them had entered the piece that came second in my category. So it was really nice to meet another stitcher in the wild, and she had done a heartstring samplery. Oh gosh. Is it Consider the Lilies, possibly? One of those. And it was absolutely beautiful on Ada in DMC, and it was absolutely beautiful. So there was a lot of great stitching on display this year. But I have my Pilgrim here now, so I can show you. I think it's going to fit, but we'll see. Oh, I can take I can take this off now. That's how it came home. Actually, they were good this year. Last year they made you stick your entrance labels on with sticky tape, and it left a residue on the glass. This year we tied them onto the back with string, so it's much better. Oh god. Okay, maybe this isn't going to work. There we go. It's a very sunny day out there, so there's a little bit of glare. It's not too bad. I think we're going for 30 today, maybe. But yeah, I'm really happy with that. I'll come in a little bit closer. So if I hadn't said already, this is the Pilgrim by Long Dog Samplers. And I'm really, I love how it's turned out. It's actually going to go and live at my parents' house for a little while. They really like it, and they've got a spot on the wall that they want to display it, where they want to display it. So yeah, I'll be dropping this off tomorrow. Yeah, I think it's safe there. We'll see how we go. Okay, so from a really big finish to a small one, I finished my Mill Hill kit Cheers. And I haven't fully finished it yet, but this is the finish. complete with the little charm there. Let's see. I really enjoyed this, and I look forward to doing more. I've got some felt to put on the back, and I think I might do a loop so I can hang it, but it also came with a magnet, so I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do with that yet, but looking forward to the next Mill Hill. Thank you to my lovely stitchy friend who gifted that to me. Then I have another finish. This one's still in the Q-snap, but hang on. So I think last video I had started this one and I just really enjoyed working on it, so I went ahead and finished it, and it's Miss Honeybee by Nora Corbett. A bit closer, lots of beads there. And Cryonic, she's very sparkly. So she's stitched on 32 count. I think I had Murano written down, I'm not really sure. It feels like synthetic. Anyway, and it's Gold Digger from Colour Cascade Fabrics. And I stitched her exactly as charted, with the back stitch on the legs and the boots. I did back stitch it, but it looked a bit, the lines didn't look very smooth. So I took out the back stitching and I couched it. So I just lay the thread down and then secured it on with little tiny loops, sort of where each back stitch would have gone into the fabric. I can see fluff. And that gave her like a smoother look. She's also got, the middle is just DMC 310, but on the edge all along here and here and here is black whisper thread. Don't know if that's picking up, but it's very fluffy. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. She came together really quickly. I love the shape, it really does look like a bee. And this wasn't the most fun to stitch with, but it gives it a really good effect. Yeah, Miss Honeybee by Nora Corbett. So I only have 2 whips to share today. First up is Greenhouse of Oddities Stitch Along by Lola Cross Stitch. Well behind on this one. But yeah, the stitch along's well and truly finished, but I'm still chipping away, and I just pulled it out. I think last time I worked on it, there were dangling threads because I'd miscounted and I hadn't frogged yet, so I frogged that all out and made sure the counting is correct, which hopefully is this time. And then I've worked on the frame. So this is where I'm up to. It's on a 32 count Belfast linen in French Pear by number 12 Stitch Co. So yeah, I think I tidied up, oh gosh, I tied it up down here because I'd gone down 10 stitches too far and that messed up here. So anyway, so that's done. I need to come back to that and fully finish that off, but I was just focusing in here. So a lot of that framework is done. There's still a huge amount of framework to go, let alone all the releases, but I think I want to do the frame before I start continuing on with this. So it's looking good, slowly but slowly but surely. All right, now my next whip was my focus, believe it or not, my focus piece for the month. It was Firefly by J Parks, charted and kitted by Gecko Rouge. It was supposed to be the main thing I worked on. It was the main thing I worked on for the month. I took some weekly vlogs, and I think that includes a starting point. So I'm going to insert those here. It's the 1st of September and I'm just getting ready to set up Firefly for the month. There are the 3 cats that I have done or I'm working on. And this is the one that I'm focusing on this month. So there she is. Hopefully she'll have a nose and a mouth before too long. It's the 7th of September 2023 and I've just finished up my first week working on Firefly this month. I had an okay week. I worked on it for 6 out of 7 days and I stitched a total of 2,859 stitches. So, well, one day I didn't touch it at all, but other than that, the lowest amount of stitching was 273 and the most was about 900. I'm just aiming for at least 400 each day if possible. And then the days I don't make it, hopefully I can catch that up on other days. Let's do the big reveal. There she is. Oh, and the stand's just wobbling a little bit. Sorry, hopefully you're not feeling seasick. The face is coming together so nicely. She looks so much better with a nose and a mouth now. I think I was about level with the nose about here. There was some of this colour done more on this side, but I've completed, so I've finished this whole page and this one as well. Well, except for a few little stitches up there, but they're not really part of her, so I'm not worrying about them. So now I'm into the next row of, I'm not really stitching page by page, I'm kind of stitching feature, I guess. I've stitched a little bit of the outline here, and that's the junction between her vest and all her tufts of hair on her neck and chest. So I think my goal for the next week is to keep working in this section only and see how much of that I can fill in. And then we'll get to some actual colour that's not just grey, cream, green or brown. But yeah, I'm really happy with how it's looking so far. It's really nice working back on this piece again. And I'm feeling motivated to carry on with it through to the end of the month. And if you're lucky, we might get a glimpse of a little sleeping kitty cat. Fast asleep, like he is every night. It's the 14th of September and I've just finished my second week of working on Firefly. Just a quick update this week. It's pretty late and I'm pretty tired. But as you can see, I've carried on stitching down in her sort of chest area, carried on with the, what was it? Cream, grey, green and brown stitches. Most of those gaps you could see are one colour. There are still plenty of ninja stitches though to go, so I'm kind of like alternating the big bulk colour with the ninja stitches. I have stitched on this piece 5 times in the last week, so I had 2 days where I didn't do any stitching, and I have done 2,474 stitches. So far for the month it's 5,333. So not huge numbers, but I'm really happy with how she's coming along. I can't wait to get that bit done. Hang on, I'll just see if I can let go of the camera. I can't wait to get all of this done. I hate having all those holes to fill in. But I should hopefully get that done this weekend, and then I'll start moving on to this bit around here. It's the 21st of September and I've just finished my 3rd week on Firefly. I have a different cat on my lap tonight. This is Jemima. She's actually kind of sitting on Reggie, who is underneath the blanket. Because that's how he rolls. Jemima. She's not going to show her face. Yep. Right, this is where I've gotten to this week. I have moved the Q-snap, so you can no longer see her eyes. I think they're just hiding there. So this week I've come in and I've finished in here completely. I've then gone ahead and done all of this. And at the moment, I'm just focusing in this area here. So just going down colour by colour, at least to that line, but most of the threads are going beyond. So just slowly bringing it down. Looks like I've got maybe one whisker to go, I think, possibly. Or it might just be the edge of her clothing, I'm not sure. I can't remember if I had my Agnes little minder out last week, but I have got it out this week. It's definitely appropriate. Coming into, we're almost to October. So this week I've stitched 3,185 stitches. So it's been my best week this year. This month, sorry. But overall, it's a fairly low stitchy month, but I am enjoying the progress I'm making, and yeah, so I don't think I'll worry about a stitchy update at the end of next week. Oh, I have cat movements going on underneath, if there was wobbling there, because I'm going to wait until next weekend when I film my Flosstube update to show you where I got to. So we'll catch you then. Okay, so you've just seen it at the end of week 3. And I had, a week and a couple of days left. I don't think I touched it again after that last update. What happened was I took it off the Q-snap to show a friend and it just never went back on. And I got distracted by other things. So I got 3 weeks of stitching in. Stats wise, let's see, hang on. I worked on it for 18 days in September. I started at 21.92%, and I got it up to a whopping 23.08%. And all up, I did 8,500 odd stitches. So I'm going to pop a photo in of, hopefully a close-up of her face at the start of the month. And this is where she is now. So nowhere near as much as I thought I would get done, but I mean, look at that. I completed her whole head and sort of neck area, and now I'm down into her clothing, and I'm really happy with that. I think this one, I can't remember if I've said it in any of the previous segments, but it looks quite realistic. It looks the closest to a photograph of the face. The eyes, just amazing. Now, I don't think I'm going to be able to show you the whole thing in here, but let's see how we go. So it's 25 count Lugana 1/1 full cross, except for the background, which I'm mostly doing 2/1 10 stitch. pretty as good as I think I'll get it today. So, getting there. If I can find it, I'll pop a photo in of Reggie posing with it, and you can see that her face is actually larger than his head. So it's bigger than life size, this one. Not sure when it's gonna get worked on again, but it will get, I will touch it again before the end of the year. So that is that one. Now onto some new starts. So I showed this last time. This is Perfect Squares by Beautiful Stitches, and it's a stitch along, and I'm doing it along with Anne Hooks on Instagram and Deb Wilson Stitches here on Flosstube and Instagram. And the first 3 squares have come out, and I've got it awkwardly in the frame, and I'm not going to change it. But I have done the first 3 squares. Sorry, you can't quite see the top of the top one. And so many beautiful stitches in this piece. There were a few crosses, but pretty much everything else is new to me. And I really enjoyed it. There is a lot of careful counting required, and yeah. So this is going to be, this is the left-hand side. It's going to be one big square full of other squares, and I think the next installment comes out next weekend. So I tried to pace myself with this, and I did one square a weekend. So I'll probably do that again next time. It's on Congress cloth. I think it's 24 count, just white, and yeah, having fun with this. My next new start, I can't quite remember if I have shown this. It was a recent-ish purchase, so I might have shown it. I honestly can't remember. But I was gifted some beautiful native flowers from my colleagues, and I thought, well, I've got this piece, I probably should start it, because any excuse for a start. Yeah, I can't remember if I showed it that I bought this, but this is what's it called? Wildflower Bouquet by Helene Wild. It's a DMC kit. It does say advanced on it. There's a large number of French knots in those gum blossoms. I think that's what makes it advanced. But it's just beautiful. I'm actually looking at my bouquet over there, and it's quite similar, although I don't have any Sturt Desert Pea, which is this one. That is the state flower of South Australia, my state. And that is what I've started working on. They're quite a unique looking flower. I'll see if I can find a photo of some and pop it in here, because they're absolutely beautiful. So with this one, it's paper pattern, and I ended up making a working copy, and I'm going old school highlighter because it is a fairly complicated chart, and I couldn't easily do it like converting it into a PDF and stuff on the computer. So it's on 16 count Ada. It's very crumpled. I haven't looked after the edges either, so there's a bit of fraying. But hopefully you can see that is the start of the Desert Pea. Not sure how many stitches I've put into that, maybe 1,000 or so, can't remember. I've got one more new start. This was supposed to be like a planned new start because I was supposed to film yesterday, but it didn't happen. Yesterday was the 1st of October, designated Witchy Stitcher Day. If you weren't aware, the designer Meg behind the Witchy Stitcher is unwell at the moment, and it was just a day to show your support of her charts, whether it was buying something from her shop or stitching on something and sharing it on social media, just spreading the Witchy Stitcher goodness. So this tied in really nicely with my October plans. Now last year I started 5 sort of spooky themed pieces in October with Jo from Blissfully Stitches, and we had a really fun month starting all of those things last year. Neither of us have finished any of them, so you'd think the sensible thing would be to work on those again this month. And I might try to, but instead of that we're having 10 new starts for October, because why not? Why not? We're not starting exactly the same things. I think 8 or 9 are the same and there's a couple of differences. But I'll show you what I have in the works, and this was the first one. This is a kit. I haven't really seen this advertised too much. I've seen it a little bit out there, but I was on the Cottage Garden Threads website months ago, earlier this year, and I was just having a little look at their website, as you do, and I came across this special, and it was a kit designed by the Witchy Stitcher, and it's a collaboration between her and then 2 Australian companies. So Fox and Rabbit provided some fabric for it, and Cottage Garden Threads provided the threads. So it's called All Treats, No Tricks. Very cute little spooky themed pattern, and it came in this neat little box. It came with a piece of 28 count linen in Fossil by Fox and Rabbit. I'll show you that in a second. And it also came with threads, like I said, from Cottage Garden Threads. And it also came with a really neat thread holder, I guess is what you'd call it. And it says, I'll show you the threads properly in a second, every day is Halloween, and it's a little coffin shaped thread holder. And on the back it says the Witchy Stitcher X Cottage, can't speak, Cottage Garden Threads. So these are the threads it came with. It wasn't loaded up, but I decided I had it there, so I may as well. And some, if not all of them, have been dyed specifically for this piece. I really like this putrid purple. And what's that one called? I think this is called Charred Pumpkin, and this shows up so nicely on the fabric. That's a black, and there's this swamp sort of green, and yeah, a couple of others. So I did make a start on this yesterday, and I got about, oh, I can't remember how many stitches, I guess it doesn't really matter. It's still on the Q-snap because I'm going to work on it later, but I've just sort of partially taken it off so you can see. Here is my start. So this is the linen, Fossil linen from Fox and Rabbit, and doesn't it look great? So I wanted to start in the middle, and now that I've done that cat, I'm going to move up to do the border, and then I'll come back to do the rest of the fun stuff. So the purple's nicely variegated, the orange is really bright, as you can see, the green's nice and variegated too, and the black's lovely as well. So that is my start. I'm going to keep working on this one today. But now I'm going to show you the rest of the planned starts for the month. Alright, so first was All Treats, No Tricks by the Witchy Stitcher. Next up is A Touch of Magic by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. This was a stitch along at some point, I can't remember when. Definitely well and truly over now. I've seen lots of people stitch this. I'm going to do this one on 32 count linen from number 12 Stitch Co, and it's in her Bluntstone. This nice grey. So because there's 10, I need to do 2 a week and a little bit more. Then it's going to be Happy Halloween by Love for Cross Stitch on Etsy. This is a fantastic, fantastic piece. I have not seen anyone stitch this. I really love it. Each of the different letters in Happy Halloween are like different motifs. And I'm going to do this one on more number 12 Stitch Co linen in Decrepit, which I think will be really nice for it. That's coming up really nicely actually. Then we're doing Halloween Parade by the Blue Flower. And I've been tossing and turning about what fabric I'm going to use. I think decided I'm going with some Whoopsie Daisy thread. Whoopsie Daisy. And it's 40 count charcoal grey. It's got a little bit of a purplish hue to it as well. I don't know how big it is, but it's definitely not this big. So I'll be able to use this for something else too. Oh, it's beautiful, yeah. Like that. Then another Witchy Stitcher piece, Welcome Foolish Mortals. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to do that on this piece of 28 count Opal Brittany. It's from Chromatic Alchemy and it's called Flotsam and Jetsam. And yeah, very opally. So I think that will look nice on there. And then is Blissfully Unaware by Hands-On Design, sorry. And I've seen a few finishes of this. It's a great pattern. And I'm going to do this one on this beautiful piece of, it's 30 count linen from Crosswing Collection. This was a gift from a friend who has an extensive fabric collection, who could probably have her own shop if she wanted. It's called Raven and it's just stunning. I was half thinking of doing Welcome Foolish Mortals on this one as well, but I'm not sure. It's beautiful. So that's that one. Next up is the Book of Shadows by Living on a Rainbow. I just had to look up the designer name because I had a mental blank. I'm just doing this one on the called for threads, which are 32 count Vintage Country Mocha linen. And I just got some plain 18 count. So you do the book cover on the 18 count, it's like full coverage, and then each of the pages on this. And I just think it's so neat, and I really look forward to getting to the point where I can construct it into that little book. So, but it's not going to be for a little while. Almost there. Next one is, now I'm not entirely sure what this one's called. Deb Wilson has stitched this and it's beautiful. It's called something like City, on my end it's called City Cat, but it might also be called Cat Silhouette or City Cat Silhouette. I got it from MiAXStitch on Etsy. And I'm going to do this one on, this is some XG Designs linen I've got. It's called Marbled Terracotta. it's 32 count. So I think it'll look really nice on that. And there's 2 more. I'm going to do another Mill Hill kit. And this is one I picked up on like Stash Unload ages ago. I won't take it out of the bag, but it's called Ravens. And it's got everything in there, excuse the glare, and including a bat. So, and then lucky last is, it's a companion piece to one I've stitched before actually. And the one I stitched before, if you haven't seen my channel before, was this one. That one's called Raven it's by Lorna Lane, and it's a Gecko Rouge kit. I did it on 25 count Lugana and just finished it into a little quilted wall hanging. And then this is her companion piece, Black Cat. This is another gift from a friend. I'm very fortunate to have lovely stitchy friends, or just lovely friends, stitchy or otherwise. So this is the same dimensions as the Raven, and I would plan eventually when it's done to finish it in the same way. And I think I might have seen that there's a third one that's come out, a unicorn one. I really don't need any more projects, but yeah, that one's on my mind because that would go nicely as well. No, I don't need to. But that's the 10th one. So got a very busy month ahead of me. If you're into this kind of stitching, hopefully Jo Belushi Stitches might put a floss tube out with her plans. Just saying, Jo. If you are doing spooky stitching in October, let me know what you're working on. Have we got any of the same projects? I'd love to know. So yeah, it's going to be another month until I film. Very busy month. I'm very lucky to have a couple of weeks off of work, so hopefully I can get a fair amount done in the first 2 weeks of October, and then we'll see after that. But yeah, really excited for this month ahead. And I can't believe we're in October already. Just amazing. One last thing before I go, I just wanted to touch on, gosh, it must have been a month or 2 ago, I mentioned how Medusa Dollmaker, the artist behind some beautiful works that are charted and available as kits from Gecko Rouge, she has released her own charted cross-stitch patterns on her Etsy store. And a lovely viewer, I just had to look up your name because I had forgotten, Francisca, thank you so much for reaching out. She let me know to start with that as a bit of a comparison. The Gamer piece, which is probably the most well-known piece of Medusa Dollmaker. Initially, Medusa Dollmaker released it and it only had 36 colours. I would guess that the Gecko Rouge piece probably has around 90 as a guess. So that's quite a difference. But then she's also come back just to let me know also that now she's released, Medusa Dollmaker has expanded the range and also offers a version with over 90 colours. So that might be worth checking out if you like her artwork but aren't in a position to get one of the kits from Gecko Rouge. So I haven't seen any of the stitching just yet from the Medusa Dollmaker range. But yeah, just wanted to mention that, and thank you so much for letting me know too. So that's everything for today. I'm going to leave you to it. It is a beautiful day outside, but it's going to get far too hot. We're only at the start of spring, so who knows what summer's going to be like. And yeah, so until I see you again, thank you so much for watching and happy stitching. See ya.